Okay, little walk down by my little river. Low still. I wore shoes, but I think I can cross it. There's a lady down there with a couple kids swimming, so I'm gonna wait and let them clear up, and I think I could cross right there. But in the meantime, I'm gonna do a little exploring. It's so low, but the water's looking really clear. And it's a little pool right here, a couple feet deep, some little fishies in there, but yeah, I might take a little swim in there before I walk back up. Why not, unless I find a better one. But that looks pretty inviting right now. It's hot, so yeah, the mountains out in the distance. My wife's walking up there. So there's a little family down there. Got a little dog, couple kids. So that's where I want to get to later. But that pool is looking pretty inviting. There's the jaguar down over there. That's where he lives. There's this tree. It's like a cougar or jaguar condo. But yeah, river is very low. So yeah, we're gonna check it out. Take a little walk down. A lot of this stuff I can't really get to usually, so we'll see what we got down here. Okay, this little pool down here by my rock actually looks a little more inviting, but again, the river's flowing really clear, very clean. It's dry season, so not getting a lot of rain, but this gets really murky at times, and most of this is usually underwater, but kind of inlet down here and right next to the big rock. It's like a nice little pool right there. So I'm gonna get around to the other side and check it out. We'll get on this rock maybe. Whoa! Okay. Yeah, really clear. Nice, refreshing. The oceans are kind of hot. Not hot, but water is very warm. You don't have to get used to the water here. These rivers and little canals are much cooler. So yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Okay, here's from the other side of it. The water is very clear, a little deeper than the other one, and then it comes into the river right here. That part of me that when I hear my wife's voice and it talks to me here, because you know, I think that looks like a great spot to just right behind that rock down there, right there, nice and calm and chill. And then my wife tells me, you're gonna slip, hit your head on that rock, get caught in the current there. It's gonna bring you down to the fast water downriver, and I will die. So again, thank you to my wife. It looked pretty calm over there and a little safer. I'm gonna go check it out. Sorry, Annie. Okay, well, this sure looks inviting here. Kind of safe, I think. Yeah, just turned 60 the other day. I'm a good swimmer though, and I think if I'm careful, this could be okay. Right along those rocks here. How clear it is. Peaceful. Slow moving. A little fast over there. And I'm in no danger of that current or undertow. And I see the bottom. As long as I didn't slip and end up in that, I'm okay. If you end up in that, you're probably going to work through it and then end up in the calm area down there. But hopefully you're still conscious. You don't get your head beat off a rock. And then there's vultures down there. The vultures always bring me back to reality too. Okay. I'll probably stay by little pools on the inlet creeks to be safe because there's vultures up there circling overhead. So, oh boy, that looks nice and inviting and clear and refreshing. And you can probably drink right out of this water. I said before, the guy who owns the property comes down here. He'll be slurping out of here. And it's muddy, so I don't know. It's probably where our water comes from that we're drinking. We don't filter it or anything, and so far I'm good. Might be full of parasites, who knows, but feel good. And yeah, the river's looking nice. Yeah, I'll come down here with my wife and then I'll go in there so she could at least call for help if I go in. But pretty cool spot. So I'm gonna walk down a little ways. I think there's another good pool right behind the rock downriver a little ways. So we're gonna go check that out. Okay, we'll be back. Well, this is usually underwater, but again, you can see, as I mentioned before, the vegetation's kind of matted down right along the edge. And it's a path that something, jaguar, puma, one or the other, is working the shoreline, because usually the water is up higher here. So they're probably feeding along the shoreline. So yes. Again, just always feel like you're kind of being watched. You'd never know if there was something in there. Wouldn't have a chance. Probably never be able to get my little pocket knife open to fight them. So, okay, here's another rock down here. Water's usually much higher around it, but I see people down there swimming pretty often, and I try fishing right there. I stand on these rocks, cast across to those big rocks. It's kind of cool now. I can see the, usually that that line of rocks is underwater. You can see the water line on the rocks. So it's kind of cool seeing the structure. It drops off pretty quick. Yeah, it looks pretty deep right in front of me here. So pretty cool that the water is clear and low. I can scope out the structure. I've caught some fish here. It's not moving fast at all. It's really hard getting something in with the current. So okay, I'm gonna walk back up and try to make it across. Those people left. Like I said, this is usually underwater. And the feeding path is in plain view. So I guess that's a good thing, but they just have to be hiding in the brush. So okay, I'm heading back upriver, see if I can get across. Okay, I'm working along the river. There's obviously another den or bed or whatever you want to call it, but just look over to my left and there's a big opening in there, all matted down. Everything else is very thick. Thick. Right at the base is some big trees. And yeah, something is living in there. I'm putting myself in danger to get this good shot. Jaguar could be right over my head in a tree branch. So, okay, I'm getting out of here. Yeah, kind of creepy. Really feel like you're being watched, but it's okay. All part of the adventure. Okay, more buzzards flying overhead. And there's a lot going on in this brush right here. And it's probably not the best idea to be spending a lot of time here. So, yeah. A little bit freaked out and really feel like I'm being watched. Huge trees above. Huge trees above. They have great big branches with stuff matted on them, almost like moss or growth, which look like big beds up there. And so, yeah, I'm along the edge of this river. There's a lot of open area back in there. This other one here. There's something living there. So, okay, I'm heading back downstream, and I'm gonna jump in my little pool and yeah, get a little refreshed where I'm safe. Up here, if we can get it, it's a JC, Jesus Christ lizard. They're cool. They run on the water. He's bailing. He's running. Okay. Yeah, I'm usually not too concerned and kind of do dumb things, but I don't know. I believe God gives us little warnings too, and I think he kind of maybe taps me and is like, hey, dummy, you know what's maybe along this river. And I shouldn't be playing next to its den. Look at it's got babies. You know, I watch too many videos. I just saw one. These jaguars, they eat crocodile. They swim underwater for like 15 minutes. They're awesome. They drag a big crocodile up a tree. So I don't feel like ending up in a tree. My mind goes. I play things through sometimes to very bad places, but I guess it works and I don't do stupid things. So even though I think about them, but I'm back to this little pool by the little rapids, and yeah, I'm gonna take a little quiet time. I don't do that often. It's why I come down here. We've been trying to fast, fasting and praying, and every 2 weeks after dinner on Sunday, I haven't been eating until dinner time on Tuesday, so 48 hours. Just water, and not bad. I eat a lot of garbage. I'm an addict. I tell my wife, please help me, I'm weak. Bring a sleeve of cookies home. I don't just eat 2. I eat like 20, and then I fall asleep on the couch, and I wake up, and if there's candy, I'll go eat some candy before I go to bed. It's just it's an addict. So I'm trying not to eat sugar, and yeah, this fasting. So, but it's supposed to be a time of, you know, fasting and prayer. We did that before I came down here. I'm trying to do that now just for direction. We're just in a really weird place. You're coming up on a year. Yeah, we're both of us kind of feeling like, you know, our eyes are being opened. You know, I don't think it's time to leave now, you know, but these little kids at the orphanage, like, really, wow. You know, I don't have to save them. You know, I mentioned before, I got to save the world mentality, and I got to remember, you know, these men at Casa, we're going there this week. Man, we're making a difference, you know. A guy came to the rehab where I was at, and I saved my life. You know, he came up for a meeting and said, you know, put your shoes under your bed and get on your knees. And he was swearing, put your effing shoes. And I was like, man, this guy's cussing to God, but I was at a point I was going to leave, and had my bags packed. I was going to go get high one more time. That was in 1994. And I remembered what that guy said. And I didn't leave. I hit my knees like he said, and I cried for God to help me. And he removed the desire to drink 31 years ago. And it's a miracle. So, you know, I got to remember that just showing up, just showing these guys, you know, we go there and they tell us sometimes, you know, thanks for showing us attention and love. You know, a lot of people cross the other side of the street, you know, if they see these guys, and it's, you know, I can relate to them. I can't always communicate, but it's very cool, you know. So God's just putting it on my heart, that, you know, I've been trying to focus on getting money coming in. I reached out to my old boss. We'll see what happens there. Maybe I could, you know, help them. I got internet and phone here, but yeah, seeing these kids this weekend was just like, man, it really touched me. I mean, I keep crying over it. A good cry. It's like God, the Holy Spirit's telling me, no, you're not done here. So I told my wife, I want to see these kids some more. You know, just go show them love, feed them, bring some pizzas, some crafts. And they've had bad experiences in their life, you know. Be someone they can trust and show them love. So, and there's another orphanage. It's their big sisters. That's the older group. So I want to maybe talk to my wife, you know, maybe every other Saturday go to one of these orphanages. We've got time. You know, it's just maybe being that person that shows up, you know, something might click in one of these kids, one of these men's lives, that they say, hey, remember that guy and his wife who came here and did crafts with us and fed us lunch and brought us treats and, you know, talked about Jesus. So I don't know, it's crazy. It's a crazy walk. I never in a million years thought I'd be in another country. My kid's dad went off the deep end for Jesus. That's all right. It's cool. And yeah, I'm excited today, man. I'm excited. So I'm gonna put my phone down and try to be quiet, because I don't do that often. I come down here and I'm taking videos and watching out for jaguars. Can I cross the river here? I need to just shut up and enjoy some peace. And then I'm gonna jump in my little swimming hole right there and cool off and then go home. So, okay, but yeah, I don't know if I'll come back or not, but if not, it's a wrap. You might see me back before I head on my way back home. But yeah, spend a little time down here on my river in Costa Rica. Okay, well, I had to get out, get my phone, get back in here, and I am in the most refreshing spot for a little swim I've ever been in my life. Now it's not too comfortable. I have my hands out of the water, but behind me, water is flowing over. I have a backrest here of boulders I'm leaning against, and this is my view in front of me. Jaguar tree right there. But how cool. Water is pretty cool. But yeah, it's like a lazy boy on rocks though. It's like a lazy boy without the cushions. Yeah, but how awesome. Now I want to go get my wife, bring her down here. And there's room for two. Yeah, pretty cool. Backrest of boulders. Nice river behind me, and a calm pool to chill in. Crystal clear. So, okay. Okay, well that was amazing and refreshing. Yeah. Best little swimming hole ever. So. That was my backrest right there. Probably only 2 or 3 feet deep, but clean mountain spring water, nice and cool, flowing over you and down into the river. How awesome is that? So, okay, I'm gonna go back, get my wife, see if I can get her down here and sit and lounge in a pool with me. So, I think with the river being low, I can get her to walk across here. So, all right, signing out. Costa Rica, Naranjo. I think that's how you pronounce it, river. Pretty awesome. So, Costa Rica, subscribe, follow us, donate to our ministry. Help these kids and these men down here. Would appreciate it.